districts have had enough with this new viral trend, and students could get in a whole lot of trouble if they're caught doing this.
Hey, you want to get away relaxed? Just simply have a great time. Go to the D for everything you need. You're taking all the necessary precautions. Make sure you stay safe. Enjoy all the comforts.
In half a mile, turn right onto Cunningham Lake Road.
And we'll be at the D about a month. Two shows from there. Can't wait to get to Vegas. It's a great place. If you want to golf, they'll hook you up with great golf courses, great tee times. If you want to eat, they got great restaurants right in the day. Jordan Carzani, I know Italian Steakhouse is there. Want something more casual? Another Coney Island right there at the D. The Long Bar, a wonderful place to just hang out, watch all the games. You got a new sports book there. You got Bar Canada. It's a great time at the D. Go book them right now. Best bang for your buck. TheD.com. That's right. The D Las Vegas. Your home for Detroit sports. Las Vegas. 97.1 for tickets.
Turn right onto Cunningham Lake Road.
9:50 traffic center. This report brought to you by Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. 940 spun at 75. Right shoulder is blocked by an accident. There's also a crash within the work zone. 275 northbound just after Hanover Road. That's blocking the left shoulder, but drivers are mostly slowing down because of that construction. Protect yourself.
In half a mile, turn left onto Bauer Road.
Discover the facts at Michigan.gov/COVID-19. I'm Michelle Penny with traffic.
Text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797. If you're in the market for any type of vehicle, you need to come see what we can do for you. During Cheap Adventure Days at Dodge Dodge Jeep Brand, our friend Bill down here telling qualified French owners that you can now lease a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for just $268 a month. Leases for 24 months, 10,000 miles. 1966, we've been honored to serve all your auto
Turn left onto Bauer Road.
sales, service, or collision. That's Golly French Dodge Jeep Brand, Woodley Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, online at golly.com. Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Companies can help you save big. You can lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
At the next light, turn right.
To make a difference. And we've done. It's been at our core since day one. Because one of the nation's leading research universities, Michigan State is driven to pursue excellence and expand opportunities for the country. Harmony is what unites us. Across cultures, disciplines, decades, working together for a better
At the light, turn right onto Brighton Road.
Learn more at MSU.edu. The NFL's back in FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every
Save 6 minutes via Chalice Road.
This big bet every week.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Chalice Road.
With 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. That's a great promotion, and it's promotions like this why people love FanDuel. Fast payouts, easy to use, safe and secure. It's America's #1 sportsbook. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet. So lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook and get up to $10 back if your bet doesn't win. Go to FanDuel Sportsbook. You can also claim 30-1 odds on either team in the biggest game this Sunday, Chiefs and Ravens. Just sign up. Code DUB. That's code DUB. Must be 21 and present in Michigan. Refund issue is not returnable. Site credit expires in 7 days. That's better than 10 months restrictions apply. See terms and sportsbook.fanduel.com. Multiple sports in all states and mobile live gaming. 271 confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook is
At the next light, turn left.
Morning film.
At the light, use the second lane from left to turn left onto West Grand River Avenue, then turn right to merge onto I-96 East.
I hate Alabama too. I'm not a fan of Georgia, but I can tolerate Georgia. I really like Mark Richt when he was there. But yeah, I hate Florida.
Hey, do you still hold resentment towards Charles Woodson, by the way?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's I see somebody was talking about it the other day on the radio, and I was just like, please. So every time it comes up, oh yeah, Charles Woodson, I'm like, yeah, well. You're welcome.
Yeah, he won big games.
Just one more thing on Tennessee. I think one of the similarities is Fulmer and Carr. That they are very similar type careers coaching-wise. And it wasn't good enough for the fan base, and they kind of eventually got ran out of town.
Use the right lane to merge onto I-96 East.
Yeah. But the grass isn't always green. And that's what I've learned post Lloyd Carr.
You are so correct.
They won their national championships in back-to-back years, both after decades-long droughts. And now Tennessee is Michigan's quarterback.
That's right. And he might not play tomorrow.
I know. Injury?
And it might be good for them.
Yeah, who knows? All right, Heather, what's happening?
Aretha Franklin's Respect is now the #1 song of all time. Of all time. This is according to the latest version of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time list. It just came out on Wednesday. And like I said, the Queen of Soul was in the #1 spot. So among the top 5 songs of all time, not only is it Respect, but that's followed by
6 miles, take exit 138A, and merge onto US 2040 Drive.
Dylan and Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
That's okay. What did Respect do to? It wasn't #1 before, but it decided to be. The songs from the 1960s, and all of a sudden it's now the #1 song, and it wasn't before.
It wasn't before. It was #5 before in the original edition. So it has changed.
Stay in the second lane to the right.
So maybe it depends on who this time was voting.
Yeah.
Obviously. So that's why it's changed. But the song was on the list, still in the top 5.
Oh, yeah.
They picked up a big road non-conference win last week, so now it's the #1.
And now that unfortunately Ruth has passed, and now they get the movie out, maybe that got us some momentum.
Some of the bump.
Yeah, it went to the Veterans Committee, I guess.
I think music's better when Bob Dylan's on top of the charts.
The interesting one in this, and I love it, is Public Enemy, Fight the Power. I love that, and I can't believe that it's actually in the top 5. I think Respect is a very good #1.
That's a great song.
I do too. And
doubt.
everybody knows that song. It's a great song. I'm all for it.
I finally got it.
Yeah, exactly, Stoney. Yes. A Detroit police officer.
Well, I love Heather's reaction to Stoney's cheesy jokes.
I don't know how to react to them. That's my problem. I get them. I'm like, okay, all right.
That wasn't that bad.
No,
And that wasn't.
And we should have got there sooner. That's on everybody. I like the slow release joke. I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes. A Detroit police officer was in for quite a shock when he pulled over a stolen vehicle, only to discover a fellow police officer in the passenger seat. suspended with pay at this time, but that could change very soon. Very suspicious, right? Very strange.
Yeah.
You guys, a Michigan father is suing the Mount Pleasant School District, a librarian, and a teacher's assistant for $1 million after his daughter's hair was cut in school without his permission by a teacher. Now, the lawsuit alleges the girl's constitutional rights were violated. It also alleges racial discrimination, ethnic intimidation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and assault and battery. And if you're not familiar with this little girl, like I said, she's 7 years old. Her hair was actually cut by a student first while she was riding home on the bus. She told her dad and her parents what happened. They were obviously not happy with it. Nobody would be happy with that, so they complained to the principal, and then they took their daughter to get her hair fixed at a salon. Well, a few days later, she came back from school with another haircut, this time haircut on the other side of her head, and this time a teacher had cut her hair. So according to this lawsuit, the school district failed to properly train, monitor, direct, discipline, and supervise their employees.
I don't know if it was done intentionally to harm the child, but like the takeaway here is don't cut a kid's hair, right? If you're a teacher, you have absolutely no right to go in and cut another person's hair. It was just done in a salon, by the way, and apparently you're more of an expert as an educator.
I totally agree.
That's out of line.
I highly doubt the teacher was doing this on purpose. However, I don't know. Did she do it in front of the classroom? Did she make a big scene out of it?
Right.
I mean, those things too go into play. But there's been stories, good stories, where teachers. I remember a story last year. There was a little boy. This was not in Michigan. Who I don't know if his parents couldn't afford a haircut, couldn't get a haircut, and he cut the little boy's hair for him in the principal's office. However, he had received permission from the parents. He had received permission from the school district, and it was a really, really touching story. But you can't do this without getting permission. I mean, you cannot just take scissors to a kid's head. It's unacceptable, for sure. Stokey, have you heard about the bathroom challenge or the devious lick challenge that's trending right now on TikTok?
No, I haven't. Devious lick, it interests me.
It does. It's not going to be what you think it is at all. So we talked about this yesterday. This is like the new trend that is circulating all over TikTok. And the devious lick is not actually about licking anything. The lick is like a steal. Like you're going to steal something. And the lick is like the acronym for that. So lick, munch, eat. So it's not quite like that, but students now in middle school and high school are stealing things from their school's bathroom. That's where the first bathroom challenge came from, and then this kind of transformed into just stealing anything from the school, but it still is really focused on stealing things from the bathroom. So kids are getting their hands on, the soap dispensers, the dryers, toilet seats, doors off of stalls, but with all of that, they're also vandalizing a lot of school bathrooms, and it's happening here in Michigan schools, and school administration has had enough, and they're now threatening disciplinary action, which I totally understand why. So at Swartz Creek High School and middle school, actually, the principal sent home a statement saying, you know what, we've had so much vandalism in our bathrooms that if we find out who these students are, they are not only going to pay for the damage, they're going to face suspension and potential criminal charges. The same thing's going on at Grand Blanc High School. The principal released a similar statement, and it's happening all over in Michigan schools. And schools are the only ones who are taking action. TikTok is actually now putting out a statement condemning the trend, and they're blocking videos, they're deleting any hashtags that relate to it because they want kids to stop doing this.
Yeah, what do you say? I mean, it's one of those deals where it's like, hey, TikTok can be a lot of fun, but this is not a good part of it.
I mean, I totally get it. I get that this is happening because obviously we're all in high school and middle school once. I would have never taken part in it. I would have been way too scared to get in trouble. I never wanted to get in trouble, so I would have been way too scared. Like, no, constant stuff. I mean, there's things you can do, but they could be getting in a lot of trouble for this, for sure. Finally, you guys, we're getting some stability behind the podium on Jeopardy. There are now going to only be 2 hosts for the remainder of the year. Maya Bialik will host the show
show starting on Monday, and she'll host through November 5th. And then after that, she and Ken Jennings will kind of split the hosting duties until the end of the year. And that's all I have so far. As it goes for next year's host or the permanent host, that's still up in the air.
I wish this was end already.
You do all these auditions, you try everybody out.
Which was fun.
Which was fun, and it got them some extra pub,
Yeah.
some people talking. But then to finish that process and not actually have your person,
Well, they thought they did.
well,
and then-
the reality is they don't, and now you look extra dumb.
I know, and I saw Drew Carey's like supporting Mike Richards. They're like
Well,
buddies.
Mike Richards is still the producer of The Price is Right.
Yeah, I know.
So he still has that job, and obviously Drew Carey is the host. I saw that too. I haven't seen that show in forever, and I haven't seen Drew Carey in a while. He looked very different in the photo I saw of
I know,
them
me too.
put together. So I had to like double take. I was like, is that really him?
There's no Bob Barker.
No, he's not. He's definitely not.
All right. Thank you very much, Heather. Appreciate it. Our telephone number, 248-539-9797. The big question that I have concerning the way you handle some of your religious services.
Total stunning question.
Yeah, absolutely. 9700.
BetMGM's gone to a whole new stratosphere. Listen to this. Inspiration Force Mission Commander Jared Isaacman placed the first ever sports bet from outer space to Las Vegas with BetMGM at MGM Grand. The wagers were the over in last night's New York-Washington game. So he hit that one, and he's got a future bet now on the Eagles as 2022 champions. I'm not sure about that one. And you can kick off the new pro football season with the King of Sportsbook. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code TOMM1000 and your first wager's totally risk-free up to $1,000. Join the action for all the gridiron showdowns from Thursday through Monday night each week. And when you register at BetMGM, you also get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials on some of the biggest games. Simply download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter bonus code TOMM1000, and you'll get back up to $1,000 on your very first wager. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Must be 21 years or older, Michigan only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Fast Wi-Fi. You use it to connect just about everything, which means having fast Wi-Fi matters a lot. That's why Xfinity offers gig speed Wi-Fi, the fastest Wi-Fi you can get. That's a big deal. It's a big deal for streaming big games, having big meetings, and making big plans. It's a big deal for families with one kid, or two kids, or three kids, especially if there's one kid who has enough devices for 10 kids. It's a big deal for gamers who are streaming while someone else is posting about their virtual spin class. And yet, it's also a big deal for a quiet Friday night in, because fast Wi-Fi makes everything better. Now through October 11th, ask how to get a special offer of $300 back when you get gig speed internet, or get started with up to 50 megabits per second download speed for $20 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. Click, call, or visit an Xfinity store today. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and compatible gateway. Extra speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Offer requires people with phone and auto-pay. Ends 10/11/21. New performance starter internet customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra and solution change. Term regular rates apply.
In Detroit, USA Today Sports Plus is the new sports app that puts the fans first. While others are at the press conference, we're in the locker room with more reporters in more cities than any sports news outlet. Get the latest scores, stats, and standings, and enjoy interactive experiences as well as group chats with our award-winning sports writers. If you're a fan of football, you need USA Today Sports Plus for this coming season. Download it from the Apple or Google Play stores today. USA Today Sports Plus and harder.
Staples Connect has everything for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencil bonus packs, 10+2 Crayola marker bonus packs, and Staples pencil boxes are just 97 cents each. Plus, Staples 3-ring binders are only $1.88. With savings like that, your student won't just be ready for school, they'll be totally prepped for the first day. Ready.
It's showtime.
Visit your local Staples or staples.com/back to school today. Ends 9/18. Limit 30 except no limit on binders. Prices may vary online.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Pepero of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
Take exit 42 on the left to merge onto
Remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen. 97. Well, we got to get to this Stoney question. It's a total Stoney question, but clean up some ticket text. Jim Costa in for John Jansen today. Some good news. Teddy Jansen welcomed into the world last night.
7 pounds, 12 ounces, 21.5 inches long, and a 14-inch head.
Any notes on the broad jump or the vertical?
Why not?
It's so weird.
Why not?
Some of these ticket texts, we're talking about teams, brands, college or pro, that just make sports better when they're good. You may hate them,
Right.
but when they're good, the game is better.
And the reason I brought that up is because of Miami.
The U.
The U. If the U is good, it makes college football more interesting, in my opinion.
Ticket textures at 248-539-9797. College basketball, Indiana Hoosiers.
That's a great one.
The Raiders in the NFL. And in football, college football, Michigan.
Yeah.
And we got Michigan on here a couple times, but ticket texture says, give me a break, Stoney. No one cares if Michigan's good or not unless you're a Michigan fan. I love that U of M sucks. Doesn't hurt college football one bit, Tim in Clarkston.
Well, because you're a Michigan hater. That's the reason. But the actual, broad, spectrum of college football fans who aren't as into it, they like when Michigan is good because you also like to hate them. And it's easier to hate sometimes when the team is really good.
And that's what a Buckeye fan said. He said, listen, when Michigan's at the top of their game, I love it. It makes that weekend in November much better. Also on the list, USC, Texas, Penn State, and Tennessee.
What about Georgetown basketball?
Boy, paranoia.
They haven't been really relevant for a long time.
They made the tournament this year. Ewing's coaching them, but no, not what they were when he was playing for them.
No. Yesterday was the Jewish Day of the Yom Kippur, which is the day of the atonement. Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, begins 8 days earlier. So the festivities end yesterday, and yesterday is a solemn day for those of the Jewish persuasion. You're not supposed to do anything, but services, and if you're really, really religious, you're in synagogue, or as we call it, shul, all day, basically. And I grew up in a reform background, which means we didn't have to go for that long, which as a kid was great. It was only like 2.5 hours. Now, because of COVID and because of other things like technology, and this just happened with Judaism either, a lot of religious services are streamed. A lot more because of the pandemic than before, but still, a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't go to their congregation, their church, their synagogue, mosque, whatever, and they watch from at home. That's where they get their spirituality. So yesterday, I watched Yom Kippur services from my home on the Zoom. And you know what? I got to admit, it was very enjoyable. I didn't have to go put on a suit. It was relaxing. I could go to the bathroom, not have to worry about, bothering people when I walk down the aisle. I can even put it on pause if something happened. But anyway, I watched it home. And there's parts of the service, like in all religious services, I know it happens in Christian services as well, Catholic services, where during parts of the ceremony, parts of the service, where the clergy asks those in attendance to stand and rise. So my question is, when you're watching at home,
Take the exit.
do you stand up? Are you supposed to stand up and observe the way you would be if you were at the church or the synagogue? Because the rabbi, the priest, whomever says, please rise.
Stoney, I have to know what you did, but before you answer, what do we think Stoney did? because I was talking to Gov about this when we saw it on the prep sheet. Greg, do you think Stoney stood in his living room?
I am going to compare this to when the national anthem is played on TV. Before the Super Bowl, before Monday Night Football. I would wager that most people don't stand up for the national anthem in their living room.
Right.
So I'm going to say that Stoney took that tact and he did not stand.
You're correct. I did not stand.
See, my prediction was that one of your daughters stood, so then you fell asleep.
No, they weren't even home.
Continue straight.
Nobody stands for the national anthem at home, right?
Right.
Hand over their heart and
I think
sings
there's
along.
people that do. It's not. Most people don't, but I do think there's probably some that do.
Really?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, we had an odd situation happen Tuesday night at one of our football practices. The soccer game for the high school was going on, within a hearing distance.
Yeah.
And the anthem started, so
Stay in
all of
the
us shut
left
up, and one of my friends just kept talking, like he was completely oblivious to it. It's funny. With us, with the online services, we did it for I did it for a few months. The rest of our family did it longer because I was helping with the media team once they actually started doing it again.
You were doing your community service.
Yes, exactly. And so, but when we were at home, we never stood. But I will say this, because like during our services, they ask you, when they're doing the music, they ask you to stand.
Right.
And I don't recall the worship pastor asking people to stand at home.
No, exactly. I don't remember from yesterday when he said, please rise. And they take the Torah out, which is the Jewish, for lack of a better word, scripture. And then, when you're in the synagogue, everybody rises when the Torah comes out. And I know Christian services, homilies, people rise and things like that. I mean, but at home, no, you just sit on your couch or you sit on your chair by your office and you watch it. And I don't feel any less religious because I'm not standing when the rabbi says, please rise.
Turn left onto East
I'm
Forest
sure there are
Avenue.
people who are a lot more religious than I do that they may do that. I don't know. Maybe it's their way of, reaching God or connecting with God. Exactly.
But I give people credit. I mean, look, the pandemic didn't make anything easy, but people who are religious and have that sense that they want to be there, even if they couldn't be there, I give people credit for still finding ways to tap into services and religious ceremonies.
And the way they broadcast it is incredible. I mean, it really is. I couldn't believe they had I guess they would probably use a GoPro where they show the front view of the rabbi. And they must have had a 5-6 camera deal because there's a part where the cantor,
they have the spider cam.
Chance, I don't know what it was.
The 4K cam they use in the NFL games when a guy's about to kick it off, goes around and
maybe. So
clears out the background.
Or the Mannings doing an alternate broadcast of this.
Yeah, the Coens. Anyway, they have on the Torah portion, on the actual Torah, where it's all in Hebrew, and when you read from the Torah, there's a pointer and things where the rabbi or the cantor, or even somebody like I did for my bar mitzvah, you read from the Torah. They had a camera on top or somewhere like a GoPro because you had a close-up of the pointer going back and forth. And that was, oh my God, that's got to be like a 5 or 6 camera shoot. That was very impressive.
Next level stuff.
I know.
I mean, we have, I think it's 6 or 7 cameras. There's one just on the drummer. It's like a fixed one, and then we actually have there's a couple camera operators. There's like a fixed one in the back. Then we have a mobile camera operator, and that they look like they're wearing a bulletproof vest the way this thing's up. And I've done that. It's fun actually.
I know. By the way, speaking of drum, did you see where the Purdue drum is not going to be allowed to go into the Notre Dame game?
What?
It's too big. I have to read the whole story because I saw it on the bottom line.
That is a travesty. The one thing Purdue's got going for him is that drum.
Yeah. Typical Notre Dame,
It's doesn't surprise me with the Fighting Irish.
That's why you hate them. With all due respect to Rocco Spindler. I hope he actually gets to play this week. Because their offensive lines currently can use his help.
But seriously, Purdue's got that creepy mascot and the drum. That's all they've got. Are you going to keep the creepy mascot at home, too? Or are they not allowed to bring, what's his name? He's got the mallet.
Pete.
Yes. I mean, what's next? Come on.
I know. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. Coming up next, people are still bitter about a former Detroit Lion. What he does. 97-1 the ticket.
97-1 the ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center. This report brought to you by Bill Brown Ford. 275 northbound after Ann Arbor Road. Crashes on the left shoulder. Drivers are slowing down before Ford Road, but that's mostly because of construction. Also, works and slowdowns continue. 275 between Will Carlton and Ecorse Road. There's also planned weekend construction. Double right lane closures for 275 both directions at 94. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Better bets, bet smarter, and beat the books today. Download the BetQL app today to better your chances.
The biggest game this Sunday, Chiefs versus Ravens. And FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger. Listen to this. New customers for FanDuel, you're going to get 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the weekend right by winning $150 on a simple $5 bet. If you're looking to put together a parlay, look at the same game parlays. You can put together touchdowns. Who scores the first touchdown? Who wins? Money line. There's so many things, and all you got to do is put down a little, and you can watch as you place that same game parlay. Watch the odds grow. FanDuel Sportsbook is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you're going to get your money in as little as 24 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up with promo code Jansen this Sunday before the Chiefs take on the Ravens. You could win $150 on a simple $5 bet. Remember to use promo code Jansen so they know I sent you. Exclusively on FanDuel Sportsbook app. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket. Must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus of $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
Hi, it's Matt Garko here from Bill Brown Ford in Livonia. Our dealership is the fastest way to get your new Ford in 2021. With inventory arriving daily, you can drive away today in your new vehicle at Bill Brown Ford. Visit us online at BillBrownFord.com. Bill Brown Ford, new adventures beginning daily.
This Odyssey.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Abraham and Rose.
Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. We're only 1 week and 1 game into the NFL schedule, and already it's open season on Jacksonville rookie head coach Urban Meyer. On Sunday, the Jaguars looked overmatched against, of all teams, the chaos-laden Texans. Unheralded NFL lifer David Culley, who turned 66 today, by the way, seemed to have outcoached the celebrated 3-time college football national championship winner. There were several rookie mistakes in the personnel realm. No Urban, Tim Tebow is not an NFL tight end, and reports of tantrums during the preseason. Yesterday, one of Meyer's former Buckeye stars, Denver's defensive end Draymond Jones, said he's not surprised his old coach is having trouble connecting with veteran pros. We all know Meyer is a control freak and incredibly competitive. He'll be frustrated by losing for sure, but as long as he's got Trevor Lawrence and he continues to progress, he'll keep grinding and pushing everyone around him. Trust me, he's not going to quit, folks. A Boomer Esiason.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big when you call 8338-ROCKET today. For example, with a $250,000 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, you could get a new low rate under 3%. If your current rate is over 3.75%, you could lower your payment by over $100 a month, saving thousands in interest. But you've got to act now, because no one knows how long these low rates will last. So when you need a simple way to get big savings, Rocket can. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Refinance offer assumes a rate of 2.99%, 3.21% APR, 70% loan-to-value ratio for the cost of 1.75 points. $4,375 due at closing. Monthly payment of $1,052.66. Taxes and insurance not included. Payment will be greater. Rates current as of 7/26/21. Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
It's a fact. Boaters smile more than anyone else on the planet. Find your smile at the Progressive Insurance Metro Boat Show.
Shop for your first boat or your next from dozens of brands at one waterfront location.
Ski boats, pontoons, cruisers, fishing boats, engines, and accessories.
Learn from the pros at Welcome to Boating Workshops on Saturday.
Shop, dream, enjoy the boating lifestyle.
Metro Boat Show.
September 16th through 19th. Lake St. Clair Metro Park.
Tickets only available online at metroboatshow.net.
Life is better with a boat.
As part of its centennial celebration, Lowe's is leading 100 community projects this fall as part of the retailer's 100 Hometowns Grant Program, a commitment to hometowns nationwide. After 100 years of working in, living in, and supporting communities across America, Lowe's understands the promise of possibility. That's why, as part of its centennial celebration, Lowe's is committed to giving back to 100 communities across America and inspire others to give back too. Visit Lowe's.com/100hometowns to learn more.
Someday,
It's the savings event of the season. Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon. Your chance to save big by bundling your home and auto insurance. But only this Sunday. Unless you're busy, in which case you can bundle Tuesday. Or if you already have dinner plans, then try Friday. But if the week gets away from you, you can just wait till next Sunday. Because Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon isn't going anywhere. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in most states or situations.
Hey, I'm Kuka Hill, host of the Locked On Pistons podcast, a daily podcast covering your favorite team. Come listen to the Locked On Pistons podcast Monday through Friday to hear about why the three-time NBA champion Detroit Pistons are on their way back to the top and why Cade Cunningham is the best player in NBA history. Also, hear why Beef Stew is the best nickname in NBA history. Listen to the Locked On Pistons podcast every day on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Detroit basketball.
The Mega Millions and Powerball jackpots are going up. Don't wait. Get your tickets today. The combined Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots are $862 million. Breaking news on 97.1 The Ticket, powered by Odyssey and presented by BetQL. Become a better sports bettor. Get smarter to beat the books. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today. There are no sweeter sounds.
It's got a chance.
Hear the game.
Let's go.
All the play-by-play all season is on 97.1 The Ticket and the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
Hey, the Tigers lost to the Tampa Bay Rays 5-2 yesterday. Game 2 of the series this evening around 7 o'clock. Thursday Night Football, the Washington football team over the New York Football Giants, 30-29, wild ending of the game. Good performances by two unheralded quarterbacks. Andy Dimes played well for the Giants, and Heineke played really well for Washington.
These primetime games have been great.
Yeah, so far, absolutely. It's early. Although next week, see what the Thursday night game is next week?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Monday night game.
No. At least I'm going to be interested in the Monday night game, whether how good it is or not.
Who's Thursday night next week?
Houston, Carolina. Yeah. By the way, did you hear the big news on Hard Knocks?
In season,
the Colts. This year, when we start airing in November, they've already started videoing and all that kind of stuff already. So that'll be very interesting.
Turn right onto North Mohawk Avenue. Then the destination is on your right.
I'm going to read you this ticket text. And then if you want to go to the phones, we can. We'll get to the bitterness that still exists with a former Detroit athlete. A ticket texter says that they want the all 22 of your service.
Okay.
We're breaking down the broadcast.
Yes.
5-camera setup.
Kudos to Temple Israel. They're fine communications crew, because I was watching at home and they must have had 6 or 7 cameras.
And Stoney, somebody calls you out, says, your God requires dedication and service. How weak is your faith if you sit at home in your underwear tuning in?
Well, I wasn't in my underwear, but I don't see what difference it makes.
Right, I'm with you.
I mean, if you're going to read from the same prayer book, I mean, I follow along.
It requires a commitment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I admit I was a little lazy, but I still participated.
Nothing against you.
No, I know. That's all right.
Let's go to Adam in Commerce. Adam, you're on 97.1.
505
Good morning, guys, in Lashana Tova there, Stoney.
Same to you.